Dude, look at this. I'm going to show you how I animate this scene from scratch and more importantly how to enjoy the animation process because mixing drawing skills with rig animation is the perfect process to have fun and to enjoy and to push the rigs and don't being afraid of oh my rig is going to break. No dude, hope you enjoyed this video because I'm going to show you my best techniques and how I push my animations to this level in Toon Boom Harmony. So hope you enjoy it. Hello and welcome to this new video. So we are going to start animating Luca. We have this robot, bam, in the center. The two chihuahuas are going to take the arms out of the robot and we're going to reveal this neck of this giant chihuahua coming closer to the robot to beat the shit out of that dude. Okay, cool, let's go. So we have these characters, look at the turnaround of all of these characters. We are progressing, adding more poses to the rig. As I move forward in the scenes, I can create more custom poses so I can reuse. So the first thing that I do on a scene, I import the rigs, I import the animatic, I come here and then I select, right click here, scene markers, and I mark these frames so I know where is going to be the last frame of this scene. I'm going to drag all of these frames out of that part of the timeline, and I'm going to grab the parts that I need to animate these over here. Now, here I'm looking at the at the back part of the character. So, boom, I'm copy and pasting that back view here. Boom, bam, aligning these over there, and then we have the three-headed mutant chihuahua, which are in a front view. So, boop, I'm grabbing these dudes and put it over here. Now the robot is going to be on top of the air fryer. So the air fryer is going to be on top of the chihuahuas. So I'm grabbing this and move it towards the front. Cool. So I have to pose the robot and the chihuahuas. Now on the previous scene, we have the two dudes biting. So on this one, I want the two dudes to get rid of the arms just to feel. I'll animate just like and through sound effects I will connect both scenes because I don't want to animate much more. But still there's a lot to do here, so let's get started. Boom 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 boom, let's go. First thing to do, how is that we're seeing this in? Are we seeing this in which type of perspective? So that's the main thing that I want to do is figure out the perspective grid. So I'm going to grab here and create a new layer and I'm going to call this grid. And the drawing, let me hide a little for a little bit the let me hide the rigs for a second. Boom, and then here we have this scene. Now the grid, how the grid is going to work on this scene. Now let me see. I would love that we are looking at these dudes like this. So if that's the case, like the box that this character will be in, will be something like this. It will be something like this, so we can push the perspective in on all of this. Cool. So not that push, but something like that. So if I am aware of that, where the horizon line is going to be? The horizon line is going to be around here. Cool. So I'm going to draw a straight line here, bam, and I'm going to make this larger, move this down, oopsie, and then I'm going to start creating the vanishing points. So I'll have vanishing point here, VP1 here, and I'll have VP2 here. And then I eyeball the corner here, and that will be the middle of my screen. And then I will eyeball the middle between this and this, the center, and boom. And then the center between these two, something like that. The center between these two, bam, something like that. The center between these two, boom, something like that. And then I grab this grid, duplicate it, flip it, and align to the vanishing point here. Boom, we have the grid that we need here. And that's it. That's it. So if I have to pose something aligned and I need to align it with the perspective grid, then I have a perfect idea of how to do so with only adding these lines. So once I have the perspective nailed down, I will lower the opacity of this layer, boom, something like this. And then I will bring the perspective grid all the way towards the front because I need to read all of this kind of stuff. Look at that BJ. That's a rough background that my friend Melissa helped me. And I just put it there just to because it looks cool and I would love to see it. The background is not following the perspective, but even though like we are not prioritizing the background on this scene, I will even add some blurry effect because we don't need it. We don't need it right now. So I'm going to lower the opacity here a bit more. Boom, something like that. Cool. Now let's get started. Let me extend this grid, something around here. Wow. And now let's bring these, let's make this smaller. Let's bring the rigs back to the game. And I'm going to follow what my animatic is telling me. So let me block this. BG, I like to color the BG with red. All the things that I'm not using, I like to color those things with different tones of red. The grid, I also like to color the grid with some green. The color card, I will leave it in white, but I will block all of these layers. And this is my draw over layers. My draw over layers. Cool. Now let's start with the air fryer. So I will bring the animatic all the way here. Let me bring the animatic also towards the front because I can totally trace on top of this. I really like how expressive my drawings are in the animatic. So my duty here will be to achieve the same feeling. Move towards the front right now. Bam. So I'm going to reduce the opacity, boom, something like this. And then I can block this again and go back to the rig to start moving all of this stuff around. So where is the center of the screen? It's around there. Boop, something like that. I want to make this bigger and also a little bit more fat. Like if the camera lenses are affecting the width of this character, something like that. Boom, 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 boom. There you go. And then this is the points of the back. All good with that. All good with the highlights there. The booty is working well too. The panties, good. Now the arms here. Now these arms will be playing in a different way. And these arms will be now influenced by the dogs. So I'm trying to create a shape closer to what I have here in the pneumatic. Just tracing. Boom. Look at that dynamic shape there. Bam. Cool. And then I can grab these little parts here to create that feeling of three-dimensionality. Awesomeness. Now, for this scene, I'm going to add some new stuff, like a new layer. And this is the cool thing about working with rigs, is that I can totally customize these rigs as I move forward, and that's why it's so important to also have some knowledge about rigging, depending on the software that you're using. For example, here I'm going inside of the arm, and I'm going to create a new layer that I'm going to put like inner arm. And this inner arm, I'm going to create a custom drawing. So let me show you. We'll put it here. And on this inner arm, I will call here the ellipse. Change colors. Let me go to the colors of the air fryer, selecting the air fryer rig, and then I draw color this thing, going back to the circle. So by color picking that color, it literally open right now super fast the color palette of the character. Instead of looking for it, I will increase the line thickness to the line thickness that the rig have into something like that. And then yeah, and then I will start creating here like the inner part of the arm. So I'm going to look for colors here, for example, finger, shoes, palm. I'm looking for a darker color here and a lighter color here. So it looks like it's chopped. Boom, something like that. And here we're having some effects, some liquid effects. Awesome. And then I'll do the same with the other arm. I'll move the arm around here. I'll move the arm around here. Boop. I'm going to flip it. Now I'm just going to work with this. Now these shapes of the arms, I want it to be dynamic. So I want these shapes to taper toward one side and towards the other. I want it to be super thin. So look at what I'm going to do. I change from the arm that have like 3 points deformer into the arm that have like 3 deformers. And now I'm going to rotate this, move this around, and the arm also move it around here. Boom. Actually the the animatic works really well as a draw over, so I'm going to use it for now. Something like that. I can duplicate this arm, boop, and then flip these fingers towards the other side, so it looks like in the animatic. And then I can click here and right click, arrange, send to back. See how I am modifying my rig as I move everything. Let me do something like this. I tell I'm losing the shape here, something like that. Cool. And then I can take this for a bit, cut this, paste it here. Awesome. Beautiful. Well, I will not waste too much time here because I can totally push this shape later. Boom, something like that. And then this, oopsie, oopsie, what the heck? Boom, boom. There you go. Bam, bam. Now I'm going to create here a thinner part in the arm towards that side and a thicker part going closer to the camera. Something like that. I don't care too much how things get destroyed here because I will add that inner part of the arm to here. But I'm trying to make my deformers to look soft and not destroyed. There you go, bam bam. I like how the pink is going like in a different direction. So I'll totally redo this arm. I'll totally redo that arm. Let me clean this a little bit so it doesn't look destroyed. There you go, something like that. And then here I'm going to move this stuff and deform towards the direction this arm is pointing at. Boom, 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 boom. And remember that my process, I divide my process into too many steps. First of all is this blocking pass that I'm doing right now here. And then on top of this rough pass, I'm going to do some drag over to push the shapes, to make some improvements, and then I do some draw. Well, in those drawers, I push the shapes, and then on top of that, I polish the rig. I polish the poses, so those looks badass, and I can animate around that single pose to make a very cartoony style animation style. And not only that, I can later reuse those poses on many different scenes, like I'm doing right now. Cool. So let's go here towards the arm, and I'm going arm, inner arm. Then I'm going to create a peg because I'm always creating a peg. Now I forgot that I totally forgot to put the pivot point of that inner part of the arm on the other layer, but I will not forget to do it here. Let's go back to this one over here. Select this. Now pivot point and put it here. Awesome. Now let's go back to, let me copy this drawing here towards this other one. So I'm going selecting and I'm working really fast. Like see, for example, I press G and right now I'm inside of this part of the arm in the node view. So I'm trying to make my workflow as efficient as possible. And if you are using my shortcuts, then you can follow along with the shortcuts that I will mention throughout the video. And if you don't have the shortcuts and you would like to download it, the link is in the description and you can download it completely for free. Yeah, I put a lot of attention into those shortcuts so I can have all my shortcuts on the left side of my keyboard, so I don't have to look at my keyboard every time that I work. And that way, I like to feel like if I'm playing Call of Duty while I work. And yeah, being efficient in your workflow is really really important. There you go. I have the arm there, and I can even push that shape, but I will draw that before pushing. Now, for example, this head over here, that head looks really really close to what I did on the previous scene. It looks really close. So what I'm going to do is totally select the same head that I did for this dude, and I'm going to copy and paste the head peg poop into this one over here. Pop. And there you go. See, super fast. And then I can make this bigger. There you go. Super 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 fast. So if you would like to see how it is that I post that, you can totally go to the previous video and take a look at that because we have I had a lot of cool stuff there. How to animate, how to combine traditional animation with rig animation to make your animations looks badass. There you go, man. And then this thing over here, something like that. Awesome. Boom, bam! Look at that beautiful dude. I will move these eyelids a little bit. And I like to approach every scene as if it were a painting. And that's something that I hear from one of my mentors. He's like, that 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 dude told me, I like to press pause on an animation and being able to see the beautifulness of that frame, to see everything looks clean and beautiful, and that's something that I'm carrying. That advice is something that I'm carrying in my workflow. That's why I paid a lot of attention into the stuff that I do. So I'll do another drawer to connect that leg in a very beautiful way with the head. And then this other head, let me see if I can reuse this head also. Ooh, I got a bad feeling about this. Ooh, I got a bad feeling about this. If you want to follow this video with the music that I'm hearing, I'm listening to, highly recommend Taking Back Sunday. Amazing, amazing band. Boom. So here we have something like this. And then here we have, oopsie, the head a bit bigger. I like how here is like, so I'm going to try and do something like that there with the draw overs pushing that thing. Yeah, I totally like that head better than what I have here, so I'm going to do some different stuff with the draw overs. But copying and pasting these poses is a good starting point. So totally a good decision to grab that one there. Bam, something like this. Boom. Look at that. And here for this dude, let me grab this. Here we're seeing something different. What we're seeing here is the neck coming up, but I will leave that dude over there for a sec. Now, something that I need to do is to scale down a little bit the Chihuahua's head, because I don't want to lose like that point of the Chihuahua out of the. I don't want to put it outside of the composition. I want to keep it inside. There you go. I want to make this arm a little bit smaller. Something like that. Same thing with this dude over here. Liar, liar, if we keep it score, we acquire voice at best, intrusive and arrogant. Bam. If we keep it score, we acquire voice at best, intrusive and arrogant. Liar, Taking Back Sunday, highly recommended. There you go, boom bam. So, what else? What else? What else? What else? I need to add another custom drawing here for this dude, but that's something that I'm going to do on the FX part of this video. This is a lot of stuff going on here, so I'm going to get rid of the background for a second. Let me detach this for a second. Cool. Yeah, time to do some draw overs. So I'm going to reduce the opacity of the grid a little bit more and take these lines out of here for a sec. Awesome. Now look at how much this head is dragging towards that side. The neck is also following that way. I totally love that what I did there. I totally love what I did there. So I'm going to grab the rig and trace on top of what I did there because it's actually working. Normally when I do storyboards, I do like shorthands of the characters just to move faster. But in this case, it actually that I love how I push that design, so it's working well. Moving this a bit that way. Cool. And then it's all about moving the stuff around. And on top of this, I might do some draw overs. But as I mentioned, this animatic here is totally doing a good job as a draw over. We acquire voice at best, intrusive and arrogant. Liar, liar, if we keep it score. We acquire voice at best, intrusive and arrogant. Liar, liar. Dude, my new dream is to sing like those dudes someday. That's my new goal in my life. Boom. So okay, let me move this a little bit over there. Awesome. So how is that I hide this part of the mouth? Okay, I have a cutter here. Moving that cutter down and teeth around there. Cool. Look at how badass this looks. And then this. Boom. I remember once when the first time that I came to Canada, like I was doing some paperwork on the college that I was going to attend, and I'm even like I'm feeling this. And one of the women told me like I was asking for some paperwork and that kind of stuff, and this woman were working on that paper stuff thing. And those women told me like, "Hey," I was like, "Oh yeah, this is my first week in Canada," something like that. And they were like very kind. They're like, "Welcome, welcome to Canada," and I'm like, "Oh, thank you very much." And he's like, where are you going to study? And I was like, I'm going to study animation. And they were like, no way, that's really cool. I mean, imagine working drawing like doing those caricatures that you do. Like they don't even know how much, like they knew what is animation, but of course they didn't, they was using like different type of terms. So imagine doing those caricatures, like you love, like, amazing, amazing, amazing. In one of those women, there were two women. One of those women told me like, if I were to start again, like my life, my career again, I will choose animation. I will choose something like that. And I'm like, oh, that's super. That's really cool. And it made me think because when I hear Taking Back Sunday or some or these bands that I love, I'm like, I really like animation, but I'm like, oof, dude, I wish I become a musician. I wish I learned how to think, how to sing and all of that stuff. Dude, I don't know. It's like every time that I listen to music, it's crazy. It's crazy. Sometimes it makes me cry like this. Sometimes it makes me feel with good energy. Sometimes no, but it's just magical what music can do can do for you. And I would love to someday sing like those singers that I love or the bands that I love. Like if I were to sing like someone, I will sing like Miles Kennedy from Alter Bridge or Jared Leto, like a combination between Jared Leto, Miles Kennedy, and the singer from Taking Back Sunday that I don't know the name. There you go. We have something like that. Now I want to also cut this head here so I can reveal the mouth. But before doing that, I'm going to do a drawer to know exactly how is that I want to cut that part. Now I'm going to grab this thing here and move it around here. Boom. Roar. That's better. That's better because here the pneumatic is a little bit out of model. A lot out of model. So it's well. So boom. What the heck is this? Okay, whatever. I'm going to clean that stuff later. Bam. Here I need to create a new mouth. So so it feels like it's biting this thing. Cool. Also, here is a good. This is a good starting point. Oops. Let me move this too. Bam. Something like this. Like, dude, I'm still thinking about this thing that I was saying. There should be more punk rock nowadays. What the heck? Where it goes? Like, there's well, Youngblood is the only one who is still doing some cool stuff nowadays. There you go, something like that. Cool. Let me push these curves a little bit more, and something like here a little bit more. Bam. There you go. Awesome. Now time for the draw over the neck of this dude. Okay, nice. I can post all of these characters in this frame, so I can also start posting this rotate, move, and then just match the animatic. Boom. There you go. Also, another huge advice that I have is that when I work with the studios, they sometimes send animatics which are very well polished, like the ones that I am having here, and sometimes no. Sometimes animatics are very rough, but most of the time, it's very important to follow the animatic rather than coming up with your own stuff. If you would like to come with your own stuff when you're working for a studio, I highly recommend first asking to the director or the supervisor if they if there is some freedom in that scene. Otherwise, stuck with that thing. Just get a stick with what they have. Here I need another mouth for this dude because the front one will not work well here. I can have maybe something like this. Yes, and then I will just have to modify this head so it looks in 3D. Boom, something like that. Now, why is that line ending in a squarish shape? Here, let me see if I can do something here. Beautiful. Let me push that a little bit more. There you go, dude. And then I'll make this smaller. Maybe I will destroy a little bit the head of this dude here, and that will, as a consequence, I will not be able to reuse this pose later. But those are some things that I need to do sometimes to push the rig. Okay, enough talking, dude. Enough talking. Enough talking. Let me put some music that I don't know the lyrics, so I stop singing in my head. Okay, let's. Let's continue. Let's continue. So, draw overs. So here, look at that. I want these colors, colors, colors. So blue. I want the mouth of this dude to be like, Urgh. It's not too late. It's never too late. Oh yeah, I put another song that I love. You'll be alright. Boom, something like that. You want to end your life. Boom. Oh, I didn't add that part. Wait, no need to be super rough. I have a clear vision what I want here. It's never too late. Henry, continue with animation. Don't put your life into music. Boom. There you go. Tapering towards one side and opening towards the other. This is going closer to camera, so we have something like this. It's not too late. It's never too late. Look, I like to draw around, and there you go. Here the hand will be something like that. I will transfer what I had on the pneumatic here, but making it smaller. Look, he's suffering. Urgh. Taper it more. It's never too late. Boom. And this pinky phone dragging this way, beautiful. Some asymmetry here. Boom. The teeth, I will use the same ones and just move this around. Here will be something like this, and this will be connected with the head. It will be alright. You want to end your This is beautiful. Leave it there. So the neck will be behind this. Beautiful. Not too late. It's never too late. Not too late. It's never too late. It's not too late. It's never too late. So here I want to finish this with a flat design. So I'll do something like this. We're showing all of this here, all the teeth. And here the head, instead of going like this, will be like this. Because it's looking towards the front. It's looking this way. Something like that. Boom. We're not seeing the other eye. So I'm roughing out my ideas first before committing into a final drawing here. I can even push this more closer to this, like this, overlapping the eyes. Badass, dude. Now I'm seeing it. I will not die. We'll survive. Boom. So here we have the cheeks. Here we have head. Here, eyes. I will not die. And then here the mouth will be something like this, straight up, triangular shape here. Mouth will be here like that. These cheeks will overlap here. Neck, head will be here. Now the ears will be something like this. Beautiful, look at that. And here, taper in that shape also. I will not die. I will survive. Boom. And then here we have this neck. And then here something like this. When beside me. Let me see the animatic again. Okay, yeah. We have to overlap this a bit more. Finding a good shape here. So this line might go, yeah, I can get rid of the rough pass. Down here. Boom. I'm waiting for you. Bam. When you're beside me. Boom. Enough. Beautiful. And then going back to the this one. Now, what is the thing that I like here in the pneumatic? Let me bring the pneumatic towards a corner so I can analyze that. It's like in the time of the yeah, bam, blue. Now the head. Let me see if I can do something different. I will not die. It's looking well there. I don't want to move too much. Just don't want to spend too much time here. I like that. I like that. Here we have the mouth. Let me go more clean here. Something like this. Now here, need to create a new drawing for this. A riot! Let's a riot! Bam. You know what? I can do something like this with the arm. So it's hiding this way and then appearing here again. Something like that will feel more integrated with the drawing. So here we have something like this. Boom. Boom. And then tapering these shapes. Tapering. Tapering. Beautiful. Now it feels more engaged with the arm there. And then the hair. Because I'm always thinking about silhouette. So how can I create a beautiful silhouette here? Something like this. You see how is that I approach always? I'm drawing first the poses, and then I take care of the animation, because when I design my poses, when I design my drawings, I draw with a sense of movement. It's like with the traditional animators when they work on paper. Dude, you cannot you can see the timing before drawing. You have to draw and commit to a timing that you see in your head. And by doing that, you have to develop this sense of seeing drawings with the sense of movement. There you go. Where, for example, where is this character coming from? It's coming from this part. So if it is coming from this part, the ears could do something like this, maybe. Or something like that. So it's going that way. Where I'm dragging towards the place this rig is coming from. Roar, there you go. That choker is good there, and the character is good here. I will draw like an inner layer here. Move it a little bit towards the inside. Boom. Duplicate this, move it there. Bam! Cool. Now, next step is to trace the rig on top of this. Okay, so if the mouse goes like this here. Yeah, I'll leave it there. Okay, the ears. Look at that. All of this is coming from that place. So it's like, boom. Awesome. Now, no. Let me reduce the opacity here. Something like that. And I'll move this towards the front. Forward. I think I have to increase the opacity a little bit. Cool, time to work. Now I'm going to start posing this dude, just tracing on top of this. What the heck? Wait, there you go. Moving stuff around. Just like you! Look at that. Cool. So because we are having the robot here, we are going to hide this lower part so I don't polish that, but the rest is looking good. Now, look at what happened if I disable the render mode here. Oh, it looks some things that are broken here, but I don't care because if the render view is looking good, I don't care. Cool. So now to polish your dude. Cool. So we have the boats for this dude over here. Now let's time to work on the other one. Oops, let me move the neck a bit over here. Cool. So we have the pose of this dude over here, and now we're going to work on the pose of this dude over here. And as I mentioned, it's just tracing on top of this. That's why I'm speeding up this process because it's just boring as hell. I'm just tracing on top of this. Cool. Cool. Now, just taking some time, but there you go. We have the pose there of that dude. Where is that thing that is cutting here? What the heck? There you go. 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 Something like that. Boomba. I hope this is not broken. Cool. No noticeable. So now here we are. I want to do something different on this hand. So let me see the pneumatic. Why do I did for that hand that is being destroyed on that side? Oh, nice. I really like that. So I'm going to copy what I did there. Tuki. I'm going here. And I'm going to copy this. Oopsie, another brush. Another brush. Wait. There you go. Let me grab my drawing brush. And here we have, oopsie, we have this. And then now, what I'm going to do is maybe we can have this finger like this and like this, and this one like this, and this one could be like that. There you go. So, time to draw. Boom, tapering the shape there. Doing something like this here, and something like this here. Oopsie, something like this here. And then on this one, we can have something like this. Maybe I can, yeah, I can one line that maybe. There you go. Yeah, beautiful. So now I grab this hand, group this, and paste it here. Come on. Something like that. Awesome. And now what I'm going to do right now is draw that hand on this layer. So boom, 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 boom. New drawing here. Tuki. Oopsie, oopsie, oopsie. Wow. There you go. Why I cannot select this? Awesome. There you go. Boom. And now I'm going to the air fryer rig, colors, line, and grabbing a brush that gets closer to the size that I have here, increasing a little bit the smoothness. So I have super clean lines. This line, yeah, that line is closer to the line thickness there. Boom, boom. And then here, boom, boom. And I can maybe push this shape a little bit towards the inside so this shape is tapering a bit more. Holding T to get rid of those extra lines. Playing here with these lines. And then here we have something like this, this, pam, 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 pam. And here we're having something like this, pam, pam, oopsie, this, pam, 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 getting rid of this, pam, 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 and then the pinky And I'm not tracing exactly as I did on this because I try to improve it. Sometimes I do it worst, but this time is working. There you go, we have something like this. And now I have to grab here the colors of the, oopsie, the colors of the hand. Palm, 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 palm. Palm. Color, fingers, color, 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 oopsie, color, color, color. There you go, bang, bang. And I can grab these and move it around, something like this. Beautiful. Something like here, like this. Beautiful. And now we have that pose. Awesome. There you go. And now I can disable the animatic for a second. Well, let's look at the animatic. The animatic is boom. So the idea of this is type of Powerpuff Girls where we hold this pose, and I actually don't animate on top of this pose. I just hold that pose. But I'm thinking of adding some animation. But now that might be just a thought, because I might not have to animate this at all. I can just animate these two characters going like up, and maybe the arm doing something like this, and then I can add cool. So before animating, let me add these custom drawings to the hands of this dude. Oof, that thing is crazy. So I'm going to add here like arms hole, and then I'm going to add a peg, and then boop, connecting this here and grabbing this arm hole and connect it around here. Boom. And then I'm going to grab a circular shape. I'm going to grab the line art. Let me put this line art all the way up. There you go. Higher, bam, higher, bam. And then I'm grabbing here a circle. Boom. Maybe a 5 because the outer thicker line is a 10, so I don't want it to be the same thickness as the outer line. Can grab this, oopsie, copy and paste it like this, make this smaller, get rid of these shapes here, and then grabbing this and draw these lines, pam, 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 pam. Something like that would work. And then I move this, flip towards the other side, boop, beep, boop, boom, bing, bam. And now I'm going to color this with a darker color here, and a more darker color here. It's almost the same color, so let me copy this and make this darker. Let's start a riot, maybe a little bit towards the inside. It disappeared. Oh, it's there. Yeah, maybe I have to stretch this a bit more like this. Let's see how that looks like. That actually looks better because here it feels like the arms are on the back. So before coloring this again, I might want to move this a bit towards the inside. And maybe I can use only the brush here, so I don't... Come on, I can use the brush here to have some asymmetry in those shapes. Something like that. And here, something like this. Pookie, Tuki, and then I can color pick from this side and copy and paste it towards this side. Bam, 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 bam. And then I can get rid of this one and copy and paste this one, flip it. There you go. Now it's in that side. A bit more towards the right. Pam, pam, pam. Beautiful. There you go, huh? Looks badass. Now, what else do I have to do? Now, the animation type of Powerpuff Girl. Yeah, I don't want to animate these dudes going like crazy. Let me extend the exposure here. F5, okay, Pumbaa, cool. Let's start a riot, cool. So let me even make this a bit. No, I have to disconnect this arm from this dude. Okay, forget about it. Forget about it. I don't want to destroy these things that is already working. Oh, you know what? I can create a camera, create a peg, and move all of these up. There you go. Now it's better. Now it's better. Look at that. Awesomeness. Cool. Now, look at the render view. That's what we're looking at right now. We're not focusing on the other stuff that is breaking around here. Cool. Now, I want to fix something here. Bang. There you go. It's there. Now, the animation. The animation. First, let's animate the dude in the center. So I'm going to grab here this dude here. Bam. It's going up. And F5. Okay. Boom. So this dude is going up around here. And here out of the screen. Oopsie. Out of the screen. Poop. Type of Powerpuff Girl. Now I'm going to add here. Oopsie, not now. I want to add here like a 66 and here an 8077 to have a timing like that. Awesome. Boom. So look at this. This is a fast example. If you haven't watched the previous videos and how I use this is telling me the right time ratio. Do you want to slow out to the next pose from the frame that you are right now? You want to slow out from this frame to the other one? And if I put a 77, I'm like, yeah, give me a strong slow out. If I put a 22, it's like, give me a slow, a super slow. But look at how it looks at even so much even. But if I put 88 here, look at that. Boom. Looks more like aha. And then from here to here, bam, I can slow out here like a 99. Let me see if I can push that time in 2. No, too much. And then let me keep it on 77 around there. Bam. Now I'm going to break all of these on 2s. So select all of this, select here in this green eyes robot head. Boom, everything is on 2s. Boom. Boom. Cool. Now, something that I can do here before tuning is playing around here with the head. So I can, for example, rotate this head down, maybe doing some squash and stretch. So I create the illusion that this head is moving. I can also hide these eyes a little bit. So I'm grabbing all of this, moving this way. So I can create the illusion this head is turning towards the camera, but in reality it's doing nothing like that. As I mentioned, I'm looking here at the camera view. I'm not looking at other stuff. Now let's look at how this looks like. Oopsie, twin. Not too much. So I might move this head that I customize, and I'll put it at the beginning so I can have that little twin at the beginning here. Bam. There you go. So it's moving a little bit there. Bam. So let me see if this is not breaking apart. Here in the middle is breaking a little bit. So for example, here when the neck is breaking here, I can move some stuff twin here. So I make sure throughout this animation that part of the neck is consistent. There you go, something like that. Bam. And then I can break all of this on 2s. I think I'm getting out of battery here. Yes. There you go. Solved. And I can select all of this head again. I can select all of this. Put this in 2s. Get rid of this one in the middle. So the head feels it's moving. Now something that I would like to make. Nah, I'll leave it there. And now we have these other heads. So this one could be here, and this one over here I can rotate. Now you know what? Because I want to put some speed lines here. So this is animation. The camera is going to go up, following that dude over there. The camera is going to go up. The camera is going up. Let's go to this dude over here. Tuki tuki. Don't move, dude. Wait, did I move that dude? Yeah. Okay, don't move, dude. Now this entire arm, I want to touch this. No, I'm going to do it manually. Okay, I have to detach this from the robot. And then move it around here. Well, now I have to attach it to the mouth of the Chihuahua. So I'm connecting this here, getting out of this position. Where's the arm? Oopsie, no. Come on. Boom, boom, boom. Oopsie. Come here, bam. And then I'm going to connect this next to this port. So I'm creating another connection here. And this out of these two, boom. And now this is going to be connected to the master pick of this, no, of this one here, that is around here. So I'm going to grab this, and I'm going to connect it here outside. So this is how you also work with props. So boom, there you go. Now if I move this, that will move with the hand. Look at with the arm. Look at that. And I can totally grab this and adjust it towards the position I designed before. So moving this towards the front again. Come on, come on, come on. Oopsie, too much. Oopsie. Something like this. There you go. Awesome. Now let me go here, lower body, air fryer. Let me move this towards the first frame. Now if I move this, we'll move with the arm, and I'll do the same with the other one. I'll go inside of this arm, disconnecting these, and connecting this here next to this. And I'm going now here, where is that? Here, boom. And I'm going to create another one here, bam. And now I'm going to connect this with the head of this dude. So getting inside of here, grabbing this peg, and taking this out of here, bam, cool. And then I'm connecting this with this other part here. Now I can grab the arm and put it where it was around here, something like that. Moving this towards the camera, higher, higher, higher. I think this was rotated that way. Awesome. Now I need to fit this the same way that it was before. I think this was a smaller too, right? Or no? No. There you go. And then I'll make this smaller, something like that. And then I can adjust this to create a good silhouette around there. Let me see the render view. Oh, you see? Almost there, so I need to rotate this a little bit more. Oops, 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 oopsie. There you go. Tuki, awesome. Beautiful, 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 beautiful. That's the fix that I wanted to do. We have the head of the character going that way. The camera will animate up. The camera will animate up. We will slow out the camera. So I'm going to put a slow in the camera for 4. Maybe not that much. Maybe a 33. Boom. So here the next of these characters. Okay, let me select the master peg. Boom. This character will just rotate a little bit and move up. Maybe going back in the distance like that. Boom. And here these are like the scenes where we are out of budget. But no, it's like with good posing, even though you have like super subtle After Effects animation here, it looks badass. Oopsie. And that's the Powerpuff Girl effect that I want to give here. Oh yeah, and the blood or the thing that is going to pop out of this robot. And here we're going to have on the background BG. In the BG we're going to have something like this. So we're having to have some shape like this, another shape like this, something like this, and this is a super temporal background. And then I'm going to duplicate this many times like this, and like this, and like this, and then grabbing all of this and make this bigger, duplicate this way. Whoopsie! Whoopsie! Something like that way. And I can duplicate this that way here. Tuki. It's like a puzzle. And then I can grab random shapes here like that. Nah. Okay, I lost my shapes. I can do something like this here and something like this here. Boom. And now, oopsie, something like this here. And now, where I'm drawing this, cool. I can select, let me create a new palette, BG, and this color, let me color pick this. And now I'm going to create a new color, which is going to be a lighter color. I'm going to select all of this, and of course these colors will change according to the color of the BGs. So we're still working with my team on the BGs, but once those are done, I can thoroughly replace these colors with the colors of the BGs to create a harmonic look on the short film throughout. Cool. And then I'm going to create a peg here. I'm going to move all of this that way. Let me bring this here. Pivot point, I want the pivot point to be around here. And the camera is moving up, and all of these can move down like crazy here. This around there. Up, 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 up. Yeah, something like that was the idea. Oh. There you go, something like that. And I can create some parallax effect. Let me create a camera here. Camera, cool. How is that I rotate inside of this shit? I never used this. Okay, maybe top. Yeah, top. And now I'm going to grab the air fryer. I'm going to move the air fryer closer to the camera. I'm going to grab the 300 Chihuahua, move it away a bit from the camera. Now I am going to grab the VG. The VG, 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 VG. Where's the VG? Here. I'm going to grab the VG, top. Oof, don't tell me that I move all of this with animation on mode. Yeah, oh, see? So animation mode off. And now grabbing the VG, moving this away from camera, something like that, making this bigger. Cool, we have the air fryer. a little bit like that, a little bit closer to camera. We have the three-headed mutant chihuahua. And now the VG, I want the VG to have to move faster, so and then here I need to VG to look even more faster, so this looks like a speed lines. So I'm going to grab all of this except from the background. No, background no. Duplicate. So let me get rid of this for a second. So like this, duplicate, move around here, move around here, move around here, move around here, move around here. Let's see how this looks like. Cool, and I need this to go faster, 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 faster. Bam. Cool. And now here I'm going to add the VG and send it backwards. Arrange, send to back. Come on. Boom. And then in After Effects I can add like a motion blur effect so everything feels more crazy. And more stuff. Cool. That's animation. This is the scene. Boom, boom, boom. Now, this character that is going far away, I would like to move this character up a little bit because I moved these things on the camera view. Now it looks smaller, so now I can grab these two and move it a little bit higher. There you go. Bam, bam. So there you go. This is how the animation is looking right now. And on another video, I'm going to animate the characters detaching the arms from the body because I think it will be cool if I add that little animation to don't make it look too stiff in those two characters over there. So hope you like this process. I hope you like how is that I do drawovers, how I combine drawing skills in order to push these rigs. And I'll see you in another video. We're going to add more animation to this. So hope you enjoy it. Don't forget to like and subscribe and share this with your friends because I'll really appreciate it. And if you enjoy these videos, let me know in the comments. Now I'll say goodbye. Bye.